I'm Kath. Welcome to my channel Made by Kath Craft. Thank you very much for joining me today for another one of my videos. In this video I am planning on popping on every day this week and sharing with you what I'm wearing from my handmade wardrobe. So I'm going to be picking a variety of different outfits. I haven't got it planned yet, it'll very much depend on the weather. And I'll be popping on and sharing with you the pattern, all the details about the pattern and the fabric, and any sizing and adjustments I made, and I'll share a picture of how it looks on too, every day this week. And this is my third week of doing this type of video. It's a sort of mini series I'm doing in May in conjunction with Me Made May, which is a challenge that's running on Instagram. You probably know all about it, so I won't talk too much about it, but it's quite a personal challenge for anyone who makes handmade clothing, and you make a pledge of some sort in the month of May related to your handmade wardrobe. So my pledge is to wear a piece of handmade clothing every day, but I'm also each week trying to mix it up between different pattern companies. I did that last year and I think the year before too, and I just find it helps me really reach for different items in my wardrobe that I'm not wearing so much and have a think about them and if they're still my style and how I can style them to make them more me and that sort of thing. So I really enjoy this challenge and I hope you'll enjoy seeing what I'm wearing this week. And I think this is going to be the final week that I share my handmade wardrobe in May. There is one more week of May to go, but next week we've got a few plans, which means it'll make it a little bit difficult for me to film. And also I want to squeeze a fabric haul into May too, because I've done a bit of fabric shopping recently, having not bought many fabrics for a while. And I think they'll be arriving over the next few days. So I want to put that video up soon too, to share those fabrics with you. So keep an eye out for that video coming out on a Saturday too. But so this is my final week of my handmade wardrobe in May, and it's Saturday. As ever, I'm starting off on a Saturday. It's a lovely day outside, it's really sunny and warm, and I've got on a dress that I like to wear in warmer weather. It's a pattern by a pattern company I really like, which is French Navy, and it's this dress here. It's their Forsyth dress. It's a really pretty sort of relaxed day dress, quite a nice casual dress, and I'll show you the line drawing so you can see the details of the dress, because I think it has some really nice details. So it's a dress with a slightly dropped waist. It's designed to be made in woven fabrics. It's got this really nice sort of curved panel bodice at the front and the back. Then it's got a button down back bodice. It's got a bit of gathering, and it's got these sort of yoke sort of pockets that are curved as well. And it's got little cuffs that you can add onto the sleeves too. It's got some really interesting details, and I do find French Navy patterns to be really wearable and great for kind of, feeling kind of stylish but comfortable and relaxed in the day. And I really like the Forsyth pattern because I think it works really well as a standalone dress, but it's really great for layering too. It does say on the pattern, its breezy silhouette will ensure it's a summertime staple, yet the boxy bodice cut means it's also the perfect dress for comfortable layering over your favourite turtleneck and stockings in cooler months. And I have my summery version, which I'm wearing today, but I do have a more wintry version too in a sort of navy blue colour that I do love to layer in winter. So I do find it is one of those patterns that works really well across the year. The only downside of this pattern is it hasn't got the biggest size range ever. It goes from a UK 6 to a UK 18, and the largest size is for a bust of 42 inches. So yeah, it's not got the biggest size range. But I'll talk a little bit about my version here, which is my summery version. I made this in a really pretty cotton linen blend fabric that I got from Lamazi Fabrics. I got it quite a while ago, so I'm not sure if it's still in stock, but I'll have a look and I'll link it down below if it is still in stock. It's just got a white base and these sort of nice sort of pale blue lines of differing widths, and I think it makes me think of it's a bit of a nautical print, so it does make me think of the seaside. And I really like with this pattern how you can have fun with the direction of the stripes. That's one reason why I chose a stripy fabric to make this summery version, because I've got the stripes going horizontally here, and then at the sides I've got them going vertically. I'll show you just at the side here. So I had a little bit of fun. There was a bit of stripe matching needed, so it did take a while to cut out, I remember this one, but I really like the stripes going in different directions, and I'll stand up so you can see the stripes on the bottom too. So I did have fun with this fabric, and the fact that it's a cotton linen blend makes it nice and cool and breezy and breathable for slightly warmer weather too. And in terms of sizing, and when I make the Forsyth dress, I use the UK 6 size, and that is bang on for my bust, which is for a bust of 32 inches. But the waist and hips measurements on it are slightly smaller than my waist and hips. It's designed for a waist of 24 inches and hips of 34 inches, and I'm 26 and 36, which would put me in the next size category up, the size 8. But when I looked at the finished garment measurements, they showed there was quite a lot of ease around the waist and hips in this pattern, so I just went for a straight size 6, and I found that sizing is absolutely fine on me. And it's just a really fun pattern to sew. I really like French Navy instructions, how they're written. I find that the patterns sew up really nicely, very clear, easy to follow instructions. And I had a bit of fun when I was choosing the buttons for the back bodice on this dress. I think at the time when I was making the dress, I had a look in my button stash and I found a couple of buttons that I quite like the look of that would match well with this fabric. But I didn't have enough of any one type of button to use the whole of the back bodice. So what I decided to do was mix and match a couple of the buttons that had a similar size but were slightly different, and so I'll create a bit of a kind of contrasting effect on the buttons, and I really like how it's turned out actually. So I'll turn around now and try and show you those two contrasting buttons I've chosen and how it looks. Fingers crossed you'll be able to see. Hopefully you can see there the two different buttons I've used, and I quite like how that's turned out. I quite like the mix and match approach on this dress. But it's just a really nice, relaxed, comfy dress to wear. It's nice and loose and breezy around the armholes, around the waist. Just, yeah, really easy to wear. And it's perfect for a day at the weekend with my family, where we'll probably be going out this afternoon and doing something fairly active. It's nice and easy and relaxed to move in. Oh, and I'll pop up a picture of me wearing the dress just so you can see what it looks like on. And as you can see in the picture, I've paired it with some red sandals, and I quite like how the red colour of the sandals sort of pops against the blue and white of the dress. And I thought I'd also mention, in terms of adjustments, I often on dress patterns make an adjustment to lengthen the bodice of dress patterns because I have got a longer torso. But actually for this Forsyth dress, I didn't make that adjustment. I kept it just as per the pattern. And that's because the pattern describes the dress as having a dropped waistline. So I thought I'd just make it as per the pattern and see how it turned out. And I really like where the waistline sits on me, so I'm happy I haven't made an adjustment on this pattern. I think when I make it again, I'll again keep it as it is without any lengthening. And I am 5'6" for reference, just so you can see kind of where it sits on my height. So that's what I'm wearing today. I better head off now, so I'll leave you now and I'll see you again sharing with you what I'm wearing tomorrow, which will be Sunday. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye! Hi there, it's Sunday now and it's just coming up to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And today the weather is really, really rainy here. It's been raining for about 2 hours solid now. So it's quite an overcast day and definitely a lot cooler than yesterday. It's quite hard to imagine actually how warm and sunny it was yesterday because it is really dark and dreary out there right now. But we've had a nice Sunday so far. We made it to the park quite early this morning while the weather was still dry. So that was nice to get some fresh air. And now we're back home, and this afternoon we've got family coming over, which will be really nice. We've got a bit of a quiet moment now before they arrive, so I thought I'd pop in here and share with you what I'm wearing. And today I've got on a pair of jeans because it is a lot cooler than yesterday, but I've got a handmade top on. And this is a top I made using this pattern here, which is the cuff top pattern by the Assembly line. And it's a woven top pattern. I've made 3 versions of it because I really like it. I think it's got some really nice details, but it's quite comfy and relaxed still to wear. But I'll show you the line drawings. It's got this sort of boat neck and quite a sort of boxy straight fit. And it's got a centre seam down the front and the back, so you kind of cut the front and back in 2 pieces and then sew it together down this seam. And then the nice feature, and the reason for the name, is it's got these oversized elastic cuffs that come to just sort of above your elbow. So they sit in quite a nice place, and I do quite like them. I think they make the top a little bit different. In terms of sizing, the top goes from a extra small to an extra large, and the largest size is for bust 49 inches, waist 45 inches and hips 54 inches. And I just think it's a really nice pattern that comes together really well. It's the only pattern I've tried by the Assembly line actually, but I keep meaning to have a look on the website and see what other patterns they make, because I really find this one really nice and wearable and yet an enjoyable sew too. And so the version I'm wearing today is the second version I made, and I made it in this really nice cotton lawn. This is a Lady McElroy cotton lawn fabric, and I was gifted this by Minerva in exchange for a blog post. So I'll link the fabric down below on the Minerva website, and if you want to have a look at my blog post and you click on the link to the fabric, my blog post should be there down below, and I talk a bit more in detail about how I found the fabric to sew with and all the adjustments I made on this top. But I think it's a really pretty fabric. It's got this, I think it's black or really, really dark blue base with lots of sort of almost bouquets of flowers on in pretty colours. And then you can see here the cuff that ends just above my elbow. And I think on all versions I've made the cuff top, I think it requires a 5cm wide elastic, but I seem to have a lot of 4cm wide elastic in stock, and I've always used the 4cm, and I find that works just fine on this one. I quite like the width of the elastic with the 4cm there. And in terms of sizing on the one I'm wearing, I make the size extra small, and that is designed for bust 32 inches, waist 25.6 inches and hips 36.4 inches. They're kind of random measurements because it's all done in centimetres, so I use my calculator to change them to inches because centimetre measurements don't mean much to me. So that's pretty much bang on my measurements, and I like the fit. It's quite a relaxed, loose fit. There's a bit of room in there. And in this version, I just cropped a little bit just for fun, just because I thought it would look quite nice as a sort of boxy, short cropped top. So I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. And the only other adjustments I generally make to the cuff top are, I always bring in the neckline a little bit because it's quite a wide boat neckline on this pattern. And so I just brought it in, I think by about 1 centimetre or 1.5 centimetres on each side, just so it doesn't show my bra straps. My bra straps sit just out of the way there. And then I've also dipped the neckline slightly because I think it would come up quite high otherwise. I think I might have dipped it by 1.5 centimetres because I think I'd have found it a bit too high if it was up here. But yeah, I really enjoyed sewing with this fabric, and I do like the floral prints. And I had a bit of fun with the top stitching too. I'll stand up so you can see I used orange top stitching, which you can't see from far away, but if you get up close you can see it, and I quite like it. And I do like a bit of top stitching, and there's also top stitching on the seam here on the shoulder as well, so it's quite a fun one to construct this top with the top stitching. But it's nice and relaxed and easy to wear. My niece is coming over this afternoon and she's only 3, so I'll probably be playing on the floor quite a bit, so I should be quite comfy with this top on and a pair of jeans. But that's what I'm wearing today. I'll finish off now and go and get ready for family arriving, so I'll see you again tomorrow for what I'm wearing on Monday. So see you tomorrow. Bye! Hello, it's Monday now. It's just coming up to 10:30 in the morning, and I've been out for a run this morning after I dropped my children off at school. And the weather outside is really close and muggy today, so I got very hot on my run, came home and it took me a while to cool down, but I've cooled down now. I'm not bright red anymore. Had a shower, got changed, and I thought I'd pop on here to share with you what I'm wearing. I'm expecting the food shop to arrive soon, but I've got enough time here, I think, to hopefully talk through what I've got on today. And today I'm wearing one of my favourite woven dress patterns. I really love this pattern, and it is the fringe dress pattern by Chalk and Notch. And Chalk and Notch is another pattern company where I've only made one of their patterns, the fringe dress. But like a couple of other pattern companies I've mentioned over Me Made May, it does make me think I really should go on their website and have a look at the other patterns, because I love the fringe dress and I think the instructions are so good. And it's such a nice sew as well as a nice pattern to wear. I really should explore other patterns they have. But yeah, I'll show you the line drawings of the fringe pattern. It is a dress and blouse pattern, but I've only made the dress version. But there are 2 different versions included. It's a woven dress with either a button-down bodice or this bodice with this sort of notched front bit, and a gathered skirt that finishes in this sort of deep curved hem. And then there are 2 sort of arms or sleeve variations. This one here that's got a sort of gathered up sleeve with a little tab on it, which is what the version I'm wearing today. And there's also a version with this cuff here. And it's got a good size range too on this pattern. It goes from a 0 to a 30, and it's got 2 cup options built into. There's an AB cup version and a CD cup version. So the version of the fringe dress that I'm wearing today, I think is one of my favourite handmade dresses that I've made to date. I really love this one. I think I must have made it at least a couple of years ago, probably longer ago. And I don't get it out that often, I think just because I like it so much that I worry about getting it out and spoiling it somehow, or wearing it out by wearing it too much. And I was thinking for Me Made May, that is a little bit silly. I love it so much. I should really enjoy getting out and wearing it rather than having it sitting in my cupboard, not actually getting worn. So I thought I'd wear it today and really enjoy wearing it, even if I'm just wearing it to sort the food shop and that sort of thing. But I made this version with a few different sort of tweaks to the pattern. I sort of hacked it a little bit. So I used this version here as a starting point with the button-down bodice and the version with the sleeve tabs, like I mentioned. But I decided to lengthen the bodice. I think this sort of standard fringe dress bodice comes up as almost like an empire line on me. But I lengthened this one down to bring it closer to my natural waist. So I added about 1.5 inches or something like that to the length of the bodice. And I also added waist ties to cinch in the bodice a little bit and bring it in around the waist, because this fringe dress is designed to be a fairly loose silhouette, and I have made a couple of versions that are more loose fitting and I really like that look too, but I fancied having a play around with it for this version, so I added some waist ties. I'll show you. And they just pull it in a little bit, around my waist. I'll stand up so you can see where the waistline sits now too. So in terms of the skirt, I also adjusted that slightly. So the pattern's designed with this curved sort of dipped hem on the skirt. But for my version, I decided to straighten it out and make it as a sort of straight hem instead. I thought that would work better with the lengthened bodice and cinched in waist. I thought it would suit it better. And I really like how it's come together, so I'm glad I made that adjustment too. And then in terms of sizing, I made the size 0 on this pattern, and that is designed for a full bust of 32 inches if you make the AB cup size. And when I measured my high bust and my full bust, I found that I fitted that size. And then it's designed for a waist of 25 inches and a hips of 35 inches. So the size 0 is bang on for me on the bust, but slightly smaller by 1 inch on the waist and hips. But when I looked at the finished garment measurements, it showed there was plenty of room on the waist and hips, so I thought I'd just go with that straight size, and I find it absolutely fine. And I can still get this version on over my head and without having to undo the buttonholes. They are working proper buttonholes, but I don't really need to use them. So that's the sizing I use, and then the fabric I use for this one is a fabric I really love. I think, it's one of my favourite fabrics of all time. It's a chambray fabric by Robert Kaufman, and it's called Neon Neppy, and it comes in a few different colours that I've seen. I think there's a grey version and a darker blue version and then this lighter blue version and possibly another blue that's even a shade lighter. But what's really lovely about it is it's got all these little flecks in neon colours in it, in pinks and yellows. I'll stand up so you can see it a little bit closer. And I really love that detail in the fabric. I hope you can see it on the camera. I think it's really pretty with all those little flecks. They're really subtle but pretty detail. And I had a bit of fun sort of linking in the top stitching and the buttons, those neon flecks. I did hot pink top stitching around the front here and on the hem too. I'll stand up again so you can see. And I also added on these sort of yellow glitter buttons, again to pick out the sort of neon yellow threads in the dress. So I did have a lot of fun with this one. I'll stand up so you can see the glitter buttons a bit closer too. Yeah, so this dress was a lot of fun to sew and it's a lot of fun to wear. I've got the glitter buttons, and then I used neon, the sort of hot pink for the buttonholes too, on the shoulders too, and it's just really comfy to wear. And yeah, I really like this one, and I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. So it's a really fun sew the fringe dress. I haven't made a fringe dress for a long time now actually. I made 3 in fairly quick succession because I love the pattern so much, and I kind of figured I don't really need any more now because I love all those 3 and I do really like them, so probably 3 is enough. But I'd like to revisit the pattern again just because it's a really fun one to sew, and the whole way the button placket's sewn, it all just comes together really nicely. Oh, and I thought I'd mention this fabric. I did get it a long time ago, but I think it is still available. I think I saw it on Minerva fairly recently when I was looking at Robert Kaufman fabrics. I'm not sure if all the colourways are available, but it definitely was available in a couple of colourways still fairly recently. So if it's still on there, I will link it down below. It's such nice soft chambray and really nice quality and really comfy to wear. So I'll link that down below if I can find it. But yeah, it's a really nice dress, this one. I'm really enjoying wearing it today. I'm glad to get it out rather than just keeping it safe in my wardrobe where no one really can see it but me. So that is what I'm wearing today, but I better head off now. I'm sure the food shop will be arriving soon. So I'll be back on it tomorrow for Tuesday. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. Hi there, it's Tuesday now and it's about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's set to be a really beautiful day here today. I think the temperature is due to reach about 24 degrees this afternoon, which is really warm for May in the south of England, so I'm definitely going to enjoy it while it lasts. And the sun is sort of behind a cloud at the moment, but it's been popping in and out all morning, which has been really lovely. So I decided to wear a nice sort of swishy, lightweight summer dress for this nice warm weather. I did have to pop a jean jacket on this morning on the school one because there was a little bit of a chill in the air, but it's really warming up now and I'm hoping I'll be able to wear this dress out later just as it is, and maybe with a pair of sandals too, which would be really lovely and summery. And this dress I made using this pattern here. It is the Lotta dress pattern by Tilly and the Buttons, and it's one of Tilly's patterns for beginners, so it's quite a nice simple sew, and I'll show you the line drawings. Oh, and what's cool about the Lotta is actually that you can make it in either jersey or woven fabric, so it's a really flexible one. But yeah, I'll show you the line drawings. Here they are. So it's got quite a nice sort of loose sort of blousey bodice, and you can either make it as a short sleeve version with these grown on sleeves, or you can add on longer bracelet length sleeves. And then it's gathered at the waist with an elastic channel which cinches it in, and then it's got a flared swishy skirt, and you can either make that as a midi length or a knee length, and there are also optional patch pockets that you can add on. So it's quite a simple silhouette that I think lends itself really well to a pretty print. And in terms of sizing, it goes from UK 6 to a UK 24, and the largest size is for a bust of 48 inches. And for this version, I made the UK 8 size. That is designed for bust 32, waist 26 and hips 35 inches. So my bust and waist measurements are 1 inch smaller on the hips, but but because it's a gathered skirt and flares out, there's plenty of room at the hips, so I didn't bother to grade out on this version. And the version I'm wearing today, I made in a woven fabric. It's a woven viscose fabric, and I got it from Rainbow Fabrics. I got it, I think, last summer, so I don't think it'll be in stock anymore because they generally get their stock in and it sells out quite quickly. But I'll link them down below because they often have new, really pretty viscose fabrics coming into stock. I really like this fabric. I think it's really pretty and summery, and I love the colours in it. I'll come a bit close so you can see them better. So it's got sort of a navy base, and it's covered in these ditzy florals in sort of powdery blues and pinks and lavender colours. So yeah, I think it's a really nice summery fabric, and it's lovely. It's got loads of drape to it, which I think works really well for the lotta. And I made my lotta, as you can see, as a short sleeved version with a grown on sleeve. And then I sort of cropped it to just above my knee. And I made a couple of changes to the pattern. Instead of adding the patch pockets, I decided to add inseam pockets instead, as you can see here. I just borrowed a pattern piece from another pattern to add those on. But I think they work quite well in the viscose. I thought if I added patch pockets, they might drag too much. But I do find pockets quite handy, particularly when I'm running around with my children. So I thought it would be nice to have some, and the side seam pockets work quite well. The other change I made is for the woven lotta dress, the neckline is designed to be finished with a facing. But I'm not such a big fan of a facing, so I decided to finish it with a bias binding instead. So I cut some bias binding out of this fabric and use that instead. I'll show you, come a bit closer and show you. So I think that gives quite a nice finish, and I just prefer that finish to the finish of a facing. I really like the lotta pattern. I think it's such a simple, effective shape to it, and it's really comfy and easy to wear. And I think, like I mentioned, it works really well in a drapey fabric with this blousey bodice. So I'm enjoying wearing this one today. Oh, and one thing I would mention if you're planning to sew a lotta dress in a woven fabric is I would really recommend that after you've sewn the dress, you leave it to hang for a couple of days before you finish off the hem. Because of the way the skirt pattern pieces are cut, because it's sort of a flared skirt, the side seams are cut on the bias, so they do tend to drop a little bit after they've hung for a couple of days. So then you can kind of go back to it after it's been hanging and check out if any bits have dropped and sort of even it all off before you hem it, so you can end up with a nice straight even hem. And the reason I found this out is because on my first version of the lotta dress, I just went straight ahead and hemmed it without leaving it to drop. And it did end up with a slightly wonky hem that I had to go back and correct later. But with my second version, this version, I was good. I left it to hang so I could correct it all and end up with a nice straight hem. And I think it's particularly worth doing on fabrics that are sort of drapey and have a bit of movement like a viscose, where it is more likely to drop. I just recommend that. But anyway, I'll put up a picture of me wearing the lotta dress so you can see what it looks like on. It's just such a comfy, relaxed one to wear and perfect for warmer weather. So that's it for today from me. I don't know what the weather's going to be like tomorrow. Fingers crossed we'll have another sunny day so I get a chance to bring out another summer dress or maybe some shorts and a top. It's always fun at choosing summer clothes, I think. But anyway, I'll finish up now, so I'll see you again tomorrow, which will be Wednesday. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye! Hi there, it's Wednesday now, and it's another really beautiful sunny day here today. And it's already feeling quite warm, even though it's just mid-morning. So I'm really enjoying this little mini heat wave while it's here. And I've taken the opportunity of wearing another nice summery dress to really enjoy this weather while it lasts. And this dress is one I made last summer, but I haven't worn it a great deal. I think partly because last summer we didn't have the best weather here, so there weren't that many opportunities for wearing nice summery dresses. But also, I think when I made this dress, I really like the pattern, but I wasn't sure about it on me. It's just a bit different to my usual style. So I thought I'd try it on again today, and actually I'm really enjoying wearing it more than I expected, so that's really good. And I made this dress using this pattern here. I think it's a bit of an indie classic pattern. It is the Shelby Dress and Romper pattern by True Bias. It's a really cute sort of 90s style dress and romper pattern. I'll show you the line drawings. It's got a button down front and a V-neck, and it's got princess seams at the front and back, and little waist tie at the back to sort of cinch the waist in. Then you can either make it with a sort of classic short sleeve or a cap sleeve. And then at the bottom, it's got quite a swishy full skirt for the dress, which you can either make as a mini sort of dress or a full length dress, or you can make it as a romper with shorts or pants option. So quite a few different options on this one. And I'm wearing the dress version, the mini dress version, although I lengthened it slightly because I think when I looked at the original pattern piece, it was going to come out really short on me. So I lengthened it by at least a couple of inches. It's a really nice one to sew actually. I find True Bias patterns, they come together really nicely. Their instructions are really good. In terms of sizing on this one, a lot of True Bias patterns are now available in two size ranges, a 0 to 18 and a 14 to 30, I think it is. But the Shelby at the moment is only available in the 0 to 18 range. So the largest size for a chest of 44.5 inches. But yeah, it's a really nice, cute dress pattern, and I think it's really pretty with the princess seams and the swishy skirt. It creates a really nice shape. And so my version here I made using this really lovely viscose fabric that I got last year from Guthrie and Ghani. I think it's really pretty. It's got this lovely red base and then lots of little daisies on. They've got little yellow centres on them. If you come close you can see. It's really nice lightweight viscose, so perfect for really swishy Shelby dress. And I made the size 0 on this one, which is designed for chest 32 inches, waist 26 inches and hips 34 inches. So slightly smaller than me on the hips, but there's loads and loads of room. The pattern pieces really flare out when you get to the skirt, so I didn't need to worry too much about that measurement. I think the bust and hips measurements are more important on this one. But it's a really nice sew actually. The pattern pieces are quite interesting shapes because they are these princess seams that go all the way down the dress, and they do flare out a lot at the bottom, so it's quite unusual pattern pieces to cut out. But yeah, it comes together really nicely, and I've got little white buttons on mine. I'll stand up so you can see. I thought they'd tie nicely with the little white daisies, and I went for the standard short sleeve rather than the cap sleeve. But it's really nice and loose and swishy to wear, and I'll put a picture up so you can see how it looks on. Like I said, if I hadn't lengthened it a bit, I think it would have come up really short, so I'm definitely glad I made that adjustment. And I think I did adjust slightly as well around the princess seams, just to kind of get them to match the shape of my body. It just needed a few tweaks on those seams. But yeah, I really actually am enjoying wearing this one today, so I'm glad to have got it back out, and I really like this red colour. I think it's a really pretty colour. So that's what I'm wearing today. I'm not sure if this fabric would still be available at Guthrie Ghani or anywhere else, but I'll have a little look, and if I can find it anywhere, I'll link it. It's a really pretty lightweight viscose. And like I said, I do like this sort of red colour of it. It's a colour I really enjoy wearing. Oh, and I've got the waist ties at the back as well to cinch the waist in. I'll stand up so you can see. So they work really nicely too. So I'll probably wear this out later today with a pair of sandals, and yeah, just enjoy this hot weather while it lasts. So I'll finish here and I'll see you tomorrow for Thursday. I think rain's supposed to be on the way, so we might have some thunderstorms tonight. So we shall see whether tomorrow's a nice sunny day again, or whether it's all rainy and I'm sort of back to jeans and t-shirts. But I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye! Hi there, it's Thursday now, and it's actually another beautiful sunny day here today, which is really nice. There was the thunderstorm in the night, like there was forecasted. There was thunder and lightning and very heavy rain, but that all seems to have blown over, and by the time we woke up this morning, it was blue skies again, and it's quite warm, which is really nice. And I've taken the opportunity again to wear something summery. I'm really enjoying this weather while it lasts, especially with the washout that last summer was. It's really nice to actually get some wear out of my summer handmade wardrobe this year. So today I've got on a maxi dress, and I'm not usually a big wearer of maxi dresses, so I don't often sew them either because I just won't wear them because they don't really feel like me. I don't often feel comfortable wearing a maxi dress, but actually this one I feel really comfortable wearing. I really like this pattern, so it's nice to get this one out. And this pattern is the Named Clothing Kyolo wrap dress, and I'll show you the pattern here. So it's a jersey maxi dress, and it's sleeveless, and it's quite a simple but effective shape. You sort of sew it in this flying squirrel shape and then wrap it round you and tie it. You can tie it at the front or the back, so it creates quite a pretty silhouette to it. I'll show you the line drawings which show a bit more how it kind of comes together. You sew it in this shape here with these waist ties and then wrap it round. And here's the back view. You sew the back with a centre seam so that you can add a vent at the bottom, making it easier to walk. And it's got some back darts too for a little bit more shaping. So it's a really nice, effective pattern, and nice and comfy because it's made in jersey fabric. And the size range on this, well, I've got the old style pattern, which just is for the sleeveless maxi dress version, but the pattern has since been updated, and it now comes in the maxi dress and also a jumpsuit option, and you can add sleeves onto the pattern too. So there are a few more options in the newer version that's available. And the size range on the newer version goes from UK 4 to UK 28, and the 28 is designed for a bust of 53 inches. But the version I made here is the first version of the Kyolo wrap dress that I made. I've gone on to make a couple of other versions, a couple that are sort of knee length, but I do love this original maxi version. And I made it in this really nice jersey fabric. And obviously, as you can see, it's got black and white stripes on. And I think it might be a viscose jersey because it's really drapey and it sort of feels a bit like a viscose jersey. But I'm not sure. I bought it quite a long time ago when I was really early in my dressmaking journey, and I'm not sure I was that familiar with the difference between different types of jersey fabric then, so I don't think I took note of what type of fabric it was. But luckily, when it arrived, it was kind of nice and drapey and perfect for the Kyolo wrap dress. And I got this fabric, I think it came from First for Fabrics, but again, it was a really long time ago, so I don't think they probably still stock it. But I guess you could probably find a sort of drapey viscose or bamboo jersey in a stripy print somewhere else probably, anyway. But I really like how the stripes work with the Kylo wrap, because when you wrap the middle round, it creates quite a pretty feature, and you can see the detail of the dress and how it does tie round. I'll stand up a bit so you can see what I mean. I think it looks really cool with the stripes crisscrossing them as you wrap it round. And I made this version, I think I made a UK size 6. Let me have a look at the sizing. I think they're in here somewhere. Yeah, the size 6 is designed for a bust of 31.5 inches, a waist of 25.25 inches, and hips of 34.5 inches. And I think I went on my bust size, and that was the closest size to my bust size, and just went with that on this, because again, I was fairly early in my sewing journey, so I didn't think too much about grading between sizes, but actually there's plenty of room in it because of this sort of shape to it. So I think going with the bust size was absolutely fine, this pattern. I think I continued to just make the straight size 6 when I've made other versions too. But it's really nice and comfy to wear. Obviously it's a jersey fabric, so it's really stretchy and comfy. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like. I don't think I made any adjustments to this pattern in terms of the length or anything. And I'm 5'6", so you can see where it sort of falls to me for reference. But yeah, it's just a really nice, simple sew, and I think the pattern is quite simple, but creates such a nice effective shape when you wrap it around. I really like the Kylo wrap dress pattern. So that's what I'm wearing today. I better finish off now. It's already the afternoon here, and I've got a few things I need to get done before I go and get the children from school. So I'll leave you here, and I will see you again tomorrow for Friday, which will be the last day of this week of my handmade wardrobe. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye! Hi there, it's Friday now, and I can't believe it's the final day of this week's handmade wardrobe video already. It feels like this week has really flown by. But I'm quite excited today because we're off away for the weekend tomorrow, which should be really nice. But it does mean I need to do a bit of packing today. But I thought before I get started on packing, I'd come on here and share with you what I'm wearing. And today's a bit overcast outside. It's not as sunny as it has been, but it's still quite muggy. So I've got another fairly summery outfit. And this is one I made using a pattern that's one of my older patterns. And it's a Big 4 pattern. And I don't have a huge amount of Big 4 patterns, but I really, really like this one. It's a really nice summery one. And it is the Simplicity K1355A pattern. So as you can see, it's a really nice summery one. And you can make it either as a maxi dress or a jumpsuit or a play suit. And it's got 2 different bodice options. They're both quite blousy, but quite different to each other. So the first version, this one here, is this V-necked bodice. It's got these straps that are quite thick on the shoulders, and you sort of gather the fabric into the straps, which is quite pretty. And it's got a waist tie around the waist to bring the waist in. And the back's quite interesting too. It's got this sort of crossover back detail, which I think is quite pretty as well. So that's the first version. But the version that I made that I'm wearing today is this version here. And this one's again a blousy bodice, and it's got an elasticated waist, which brings it in nicely. But this one's made with 2 panels at the front and back, so you can see this little sort of centre slit here, another one at the back. And then these panels have a little channel at the top, and you thread through a tie, and you can fasten the tie either at the back, or you could fasten it at the front for a little cute sort of feature bow. And it just creates a really pretty shape to the bodice that I think is a bit different. And so the version I'm wearing today is a maxi version. As I mentioned yesterday, I don't have a lot of maxi dresses, but this is one I really, really enjoy wearing. And it's got a slit at the back to make it a little bit easier to walk. And it's just really comfy and relaxed to wear, with the elasticated waist channel does make it nice and comfy, and it's nice and loose with this blousy bodice. Oh, I should mention the sizing. The pattern comes in an extra small to an extra large, which takes it from a bust of 29.5 inches up to a bust of 48 inches. And I think I went with my measurements on this one, which put me as a size small, which is for bust of 32.5 to 34, waist of 25, 26.5, and hips of 34.5 to 36. And that fits me nicely. There's enough room to make it really comfy and give that sort of pretty blousy effect to it. And I made this version. It's my second version I made of this pattern. And the first version I made when I was very new to sewing was in a sort of quilting weight cotton, and it didn't really suit the pattern that well. So the second version I made, I chose a better fabric match for this pattern. This is a rayon fabric. I can't remember where I got this fabric from, but I remember it being quite good value, and I thought it was really pretty. But yeah, I got it a long time ago. I made this one a while ago. But it's really pretty sort of summery print with a sort of white base, and it's got these sort of palm leaves in greens and pinks and blacks. So I really like the colours on this one. And I'll stand up a bit just so you can see the shape of it and the elasticated waist. and it's just really nice and comfy and loose to wear. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. I think I might have made a slight adjustment to lengthen the bodice on this one by about 1 inch or so, because I think I remember my first version wasn't that blousy, it came a bit more sort of tight, so I just added a bit more space to give it that blousy effect, and which works well with this drapey fabric. But yeah, it was a really nice sew actually. It's one of Simplicity's easy to sew patterns. And I think when I first sewed this, I made a couple of indie patterns before, and I really liked how their instructions held your hand, so I was a bit nervous about tackling this one, but actually I found the instructions really good and really clear and easy to follow. So yeah, it's a really nice pattern, and I'd like to revisit it at some point actually. I think it's a perfect one for a summer holiday, and I would like to try this bodice version too, because I think that'll be really pretty with that crossover back. So that is what I'm wearing today, but I better finish now and get off and do a little bit of packing. So thank you so much for watching another week of my handmade wardrobe video. Again, this week I've managed to wear a different pattern company every day, and it's been fun picking some different things out of my wardrobe and sharing them with you. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. And if you have enjoyed watching, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. And then if you press the bell icon, you'll be notified when my future videos come out. So thank you again for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will hopefully see you again soon for another video. Bye.